I always had difficulty. After my mom married my stepdad when I was like 12, I had difficulty adjusting. I had the moods, and that was in the late 70s. I graduated in 81. Nobody really knew what anything was. Everybody thought that I just had a problem with my mom marrying my stepdad and some experiences that I had right after they got married with people in our family. Just created a lot of issues, but I went to their psychiatrist for the first time when I was 12, and I actually had told my mother that I think I want to go to a psychiatrist. And when I think back now, and I've been asked, well, why did you tell your mom you wanted to go? I just knew something wasn't right. So it wasn't until when I had my son in 91, I was actually diagnosed in 95, but I had gone through a lot of stuff in my, late teens and then 20s that was very characteristic of bipolar. Very, the kind of, like my son was, 5, or after he got a little bit older, we're going to get in the car and we're going to go from Ohio to Tennessee, to Knoxville, Tennessee, to get a Sonic cherry limeade, and then we're going to turn around and go right back home. So things like that are not normal things that people do. Maybe they'll go on a weekend trip, but they won't necessarily do that. I also have learned that I have, traits from borderline, borderline personality disorder, and that I know, that comes from a lot of the trauma and the things that had been done to me and happened to me while I was growing up, and even when I was in my 20s. After I was diagnosed, I had a hard time accepting it, and that's when I started to work with NAMI and some other organizations that, I was trying to find people that understood what I was going through and understand that I could be a single mom, I could be working on a graduate degree, and still be productive in society, even with my mental illness. But then in September, I was going through a rough time. Some things had triggered some past trauma that I had, and I talked to my therapist about it. I disclosed some stuff that I hadn't disclosed for over 30 years. I'd never ever talked about it. And he brought up pathways again, and I made the decision this is probably a good idea. Not having any idea that what the program was like and what it was going to actually do for me. So once I got involved in the program, it was probably 2 weeks in that the layers started peeling back and finding more insights to me, finding more things that I needed to work on than I really realized I needed to work on. And the thing that I learned the most from Pathways was the 5 core beliefs. I'm good enough, I'm capable, I'm safe, I'm lovable, and I'm worthy. And that, the program is 13 weeks long, and it took all 13 weeks to really get to that point where I was believing any of that. But the thing I've learned here from my individual therapist and the Pathways program is that Portage Path, the staff, my therapist, are all tools. They're tools in a big toolbox that I have. And that's what I've been learning, that I have these tools, and sometimes, it's not going to fix everything, but they're helping me to learn how to handle things on my own without being dependent on my therapist or another program. And so I have been having success with utilizing the services. I go to the Creative Coping Group. I'm starting to go to Compass. I haven't been there for a couple weeks because I work. But so I've begun utilizing other programs than just the Pathways. And the Compass Group is fantastic. I've been there a couple times so far already. And it is a continuation of the Pathways program to learn, try and implement some of the skills we learned in Pathways. One thing I found here, that the therapists, and whether it's the individual therapist or the program therapists that run the program, they have a different way of looking at things than I've ever had before. And it's enabled me to feel a little more comfortable sharing a little bit more, opening up and talking about stuff that I never ever anticipated or planned on ever telling anyone. Coming to Portage Path, I have started to, I wasn't socializing, I was focusing on work, my nonprofit I work with, and not doing anything social. It's been the last 2 months now that I'm getting out and doing things with people. So Portage Path has been different than, and I've been within the system as a person with lived experience for a long time. And so I just really have appreciated everything I've gotten here, and then they continue to give me the tools I need to work on, the tools to be able to fix the stuff on my own. And sometimes it's not going to get fixed all the way, but at least make it so I have the skills to get through the different things and the challenges I need to work on.